All right, Hardin County, we're back for part two. I didn't even tell you what the date was. It is October 31st. It's Halloween. Of all days, we've had a pretty exciting commissioners meeting today. And so after lunch, we took a break for lunch. We come back at 1 o'clock, and the health department came in. I think they came in with 9 of their employees or board members, and they were asking for funding from the commissioners, right? So I don't know if you guys have a lot of history on the health department. They talked in the meeting that, maybe their health board has not sufficiently manage their money well. They've relied on a lot of grants for their salaries, and the grants have always come through and it's been sufficient, but they are finding these last couple years that those grants are not sufficient, and so they are coming up with a deficit. And instead of raising fees, so the city of Kenton and the townships pay into fees. I don't know that the county pays anything into our county health board. It's I haven't heard that they do, so we'll have to check into that. So they have these certain fees, the sewer fees and all those kind of things that go in. The vaccine clinics bring in money. The Help Me Grow program, which they've not been able to continue, used to bring in some money. And so they have kind of these billable things, and they have these fees. I know the city of Kenton pays like $100,000 into the health department every year, which is a big chunk of what they do get. And so, they kind of have this money that comes in, and it's not been sufficient. And when the grants don't come in, you kind of just get lower and lower and lower. And I know Kirby had come in and tried to bring light to that situation, that they didn't have enough money to pay salaries. They came in and asked for money for the TB cases because that took a lot of money. They couldn't do their vaccine clinics because they didn't have enough staff, because they were out taking care of these TB cases. Evidently, we've had more than 2 TB cases. We have 2 active cases now of TB. They've all been outside people from our county that have brought the TB in. But we have 2 active cases. Those people are essentially quarantined to their homes. But the health department, and this is not billable, right? So they don't get any money to do this, but they have to go and watch the people take their medication, twice a day or once a day, whatever it is, for several weeks, I think, and to monitor these people, because we do not want a TB epidemic to take place in Hardin County, right? This is not what we're interested in doing. Our health department does have a purpose and a reason, and right now they're struggling. So they have a very new board, and they explained, and they have been trying very hard to get things reorganized in a better situation. They have a plan that to be able to go back to the townships, and they're talking about like a 10 to 30% increase of fees to these townships, so that they can increase their revenue to serve the people of Hardin County, right? So they can't do that this year because the Budget Commission has already made their ruling. They'd have to do it next year, and then from there, they'd have to wait for it to take effect. So, they're essentially 2 years out from any increased revenue. And so they came and asked the commissioners, hey, we can't basically make salary next month, right? They're going to be in the hole. If they pay people, they'll be in the hole in December. And the staff there are saying, hey, we want to make sure I have a job. And so they're sitting on pins and needles saying, maybe I should go take a job somewhere else, which they've already lost 2 nurses. They've already lost Kirby. I heard that Kirby left because if he removed his salary, then they would be able to pay the nurses that are still left, which were more important. But of course, that only lasts so long, and then you run out again. And so they have a plan to get their budget under control and get their department self-managed again, right? Gerald explained that They've never come in and asked for money from the commissioners. They've always been able to work it out themselves with the different grants and, all those things. And so they are saying, basically, we're in a hard situation that if we don't do something right, we're going to have major consequences. And so they've come in and they're asking for 400, let's see where it is. It's like $414,000 of ARPA money, right? So they're not asking for the commissioners to go in and increase their budget or change the budget or dip into the general fund or any of those things. They're not asking for that. They're saying there's money in the ARPA funds, right, that could be available, and we would like to use that to pay our salaries from 23 through 24, so some back salaries, and then they would be able to cover salaries for the next 2 years until this new plan kicks in that they can get additional revenue and get their fee structure up to where it's supposed to be. I understood what was going on. I don't know that the commissioners understood what was going on. I felt like they gave them a really hard time at about, their budget and how they're going to do this and the methodology and all these things. And it's like they already understand where they're at, right? They're already putting things in place to make changes. All they're asking is for some of this ARPA money, which, common sense tells you. And I spoke up in the meeting and just kind of viewed, that it's like this money was from COVID, So we had two monies. We had the CARES Act money, which the health department did get some of that. I think they said like $300,000 of that to help with supplies and PPE and certain jobs or whatever, but it was restricted. It was very small things that they could use it for. And so they did receive some of that money, but they have not received one penny of this ARPA money that's come down to help replenish, the healthcare, salaries, lost revenues, all these things due to COVID. And our health department is still doing COVID activity. They're still out there treating people and giving vaccines and doing all the same stuff. And yet they receive none of this money. So anyways, it's a interesting meeting. I really encourage you guys to go and watch the whole meeting. I think it's an easy answer. We need our health department. So here's the brass tacks, right? We can say, we're not going to give them, the commissioners do not act like they're going to give the health department any money, right? So basically, I don't know, they just go bankrupt or they, lose all their staff, everybody leaves. And so you end up with an empty department. And because we don't want to pay the money to keep our local health department. What that means, because they had asked in the meeting if, maybe we could join and merge with another department. Well, the other departments around us are in the same situation. They don't have the funding available. They don't have the staff available. They're not going to want to take Hardin County on as a department. So basically, to take on our cost that we're not already providing. So they're not going to want to do that. So what ends up happening is that our department disbands and you're going to contract out to, Marion, Findlay, Lima, whoever it is, their health department, and you're going to have to bring them in. So they're going to have to drive from wherever they are into Hardin County, render these services. And it's going to be expensive, right? We're still going to have to pay for it. We're still going to have to, but then that means that we don't have people who know our local business as well, right? We're going to be small beans to them. I can just imagine the cost is going to go up and our care is going to go down. So I'm not in favor. I don't know all the ins and outs of the health department, but I just think that it's really interesting that we can't give them a little bit of a leeway to say, okay, we're going to buy you 2 years of time to help figure things out. And then, they're going to be back up on their feet and move it forward, especially when it's COVID money that we weren't going to have anyways. And so anyways, watch the video, make your own opinions about it. but I certainly feel that it's just a small thing, and make it happen. There's no reason that that COVID money or that ARPA money cannot be used for what they're asking for. Easily done. Let's see what else they had. So the last thing of the day, if that wasn't enough activity for the day, is that the Dudley Township trustees came in. They have, I don't know if the Panther Creek project reaches to the Dudley Township or not. That's outside of Ridgeway. But I know the solar people have been around a lot in Dudley Township. I know they've been really bothering the Amish, and they've, are trying to get people to sign up for this solar program, and they can be quite persuasive and persistent. And so they've come, Dudley Township, and I think their meeting is a couple weeks, and they're going to present a resolution saying that any solar projects that are under 50 megawatts, that they're not allowed in Dudley Township. That's the limitation. So they came and basically are letting the commissioners know that this is the path that they're going to take, and that they're asking the commissioners to make it what did they call it? A restricted township for anything that's above 50 megawatts. The commissioners have to do that. So basically saying no big solar projects, wind projects can come into Dudley Township. And, that would keep it a safe area for all the residents. So I'm not a fan of solar. I think we have 3 projects that are already going. Panther Creek. So the projects we already have are like 150, 170 megawatts. And the one that they're going to put down at Panther Creek is like 250 megawatts, which is just huge. It's going to take up, like, you have Ridgeway, and it's just this whole slew of land there in front of Ridgeway. And so just not going to be very pretty or very nice. So if you're in that area, get involved and reach out to people and let them know how you feel, and talk to your friends and neighbors. If you know people who have land who might be thinking about signing up for solar, it's not the shiny, pretty deal that they say it is. So anyways, I think that brings us to the end of our day. It was very busy. There's lots to learn. Like I said, I do talk to Tim quite a bit about solar in between the meetings. And so if you want to listen to that, you can gain a little information there. But 2 long summary videos of today, so much information. And I hope that you stay watching and stay involved. We'll talk to you later.